Something I actually get asked on a very, very regular basis, like at least 2-3 times a week, is how I have these wheels mounted to the wall in my garage. Now, I still kept the stock Evo 6 Enkis off my Evo 6 here, and I've had them stored at my work, but we're doing a bit of a cleanup, so I needed to bring them home. And when you have the single car garage life, it is very hard to keep wheels, so I've had to bring them home. And I'm gonna mount these on the wall as well, just to get them out of the way. So I'm gonna do 2 here and 2 here. Now they sit behind here, so they're not in the way. They won't interfere with getting cars in and out, doors opening at all. But a lot of people ask how I mount them, so I thought I'll show you guys. Now I will link this product down below if I can find them again, because I bought these a very, very long time ago, and I'm hoping the link is still in my eBay purchases. And I'm lucky that I had exactly 4 left out of the bag that I bought. So these are it here. Now they don't look like much, they look very thin, but according to their instructions, they're rated to 60 or 70 kilos each or something like that. So more than enough to mount wheels to the wall, which is what these are specifically designed for. And these ones I've had up for like 2 or 3 years now and never had a problem. They've never fallen, never moved, anything like that. Now how they hook on is very, very simple. It depends on the design of the wheel as well. Some are hard to sort of get in, like these, because I've already tried to put this on. But literally just hook it on like that and it's attached to the wall. Now how I've mounted these to the wall is with these 6mm Dynabolts. You actually need to elongate the holes on these a little bit because I think they're suited to 5mm or something like that. But when I grabbed some 4 and 5mm Dynabolts, they look tiny. So I just wasn't trusting in that size Dynabolt, so just drill them out a little size bigger. Now of course use a proper drill bit made for drilling into stuff like this with an end on it like that, if you can see, and tape your depth so you don't go too deep and into the house next door. And now that my 2 holes are drilled here, you hammer these in. As you do them up, it pulls this pin back through, which expands this little sleeve and holds it to the wall. As you can see, that is not going anywhere. And now for the wheel test. As you can see, my full weight on it, it ain't going anywhere. So that is it, 1 mounted, 4 to go. It is a very hot and humid day today, especially in here. And there you go, an easy way to store wheels out of the way when you have no room like me. Now again, I'll try and put the link to these down below. They're very, very cheap. I think it was 20 for, actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 for 25 bucks delivered, I think it was. And if you actually know what you're doing, unlike myself, flick it over to hammer drill just to make it so much easier. God, I'm stupid. Took like 2 seconds to drill a hole with it on the hammer drill mode. Anyway, on to what this actual video is about. Good job. Alright, to start this week's video off, oh, that's not as tight as I'd like it to be. The VN is going to the place that did the transmission to get this fixed once and for all, because I don't know what I'm doing, so it's going back to them. So hopefully it comes back all fixed, but we'll see how we go. Cars always look so cool when they're on trailers or tow trucks. Alright, off we go. anyone else absolutely shit themselves when they're not used to towing cars? Like, I don't tow cars very often. And I just happened to look up in the rear vision mirror and I thought a car was full on up my ass, but turns out it's just a van on the trailer. An idiot.
2 weeks later.
Alright, we have the van back, as you can see. And it is fixed. I now have all 3 gears. Now I will explain when I stop driving this home from my work, because I am absolutely shit scared of what's going to happen on this drive home, because I have not driven this car at all. And I'm driving it about 10-15 minutes home on the freeway, so we'll see how we go. But we have all gears. Phew! I've forgotten how goddamn noisy this diff is. It feels so good driving this car, but I am shitting myself. I'm scared it's going to overheat or something like that, so I just want to get on the freeway, so at least if something happens, I can roll to a stop safely. And it's got no goddamn fuel either. Wish me luck, guys. Three gears! Have to say, holy moly, what a difference the revs are on the freeway. With a 3-speed now and 3 9s. God damn! I don't know how fast I'm going, but definitely slower than traffic. I'm gonna say 80, 85 k's an hour. And it's sitting at like 23, 2400. So hopefully it doesn't get too hot. We're driving. Pretty much where the temp's sitting, it's like not even 2 notches off cold, so very, very happy with that. That's the one thing I was scared about, you know, having never driven this. I don't know if it's been bled properly, etc. So, but I got this in hand just in case, just for this drive. And I think I'm going to permanently install one of these in the car just in case. Alright, I really got to concentrate on driving and stop talking shit. I'm just excited. Oh, and look what is pulling up next to me. That's pretty cool. It's like a pink S2000 with a big T-wing, like with the livery like the one from Fast and Furious. And believe it or not, we made it without catching on fire. Still got this bullshit. Fan's working, so that's good. So this is pretty much the highest it got. So about 2 notches from the bottom. Anyway, now I will explain exactly what happened. Alright, hubcaps are back on and doing musical cars here. So I can get the van back in there and then we will do some explaining. God damn, it's hot. Alright, the cars are back in. Van's back in its spot. Now I have the chance to explain exactly what happened with the auto in the end. So as you saw at the start of this video, I ended up just taking the whole car to the place that built the auto for me, as then he could diagnose it, drive it, and do what he needed to do. At the start, we were pretty certain it was just, now look, I'm gonna try my hardest to explain this to you guys. I have zero knowledge on autos. There's absolutely zero, and that's another reason I just wanted to drop the whole car there. So what was explained to me, it was thought to be something, a spring that didn't have enough tension on it, needed a new spring that is somewhere in there that's stronger spring, something like that. So he dropped the pan, did this spring, oiled it up again, and didn't fix it. 2 days later, thought it was just maybe some gunk had gone through it, maybe when he'd built it, maybe when I'd done all the transmission lines and stuff. Who knows what shit can go through lines and then in turn goes through the transmission and clogs up something. So he put another valve body in it, as he thought that something in there was getting stuck. Dropped the pan, did a valve body, pan back on, oil again, and didn't fix it. Now, it ended up being absolute worst case scenario, which is something that was on my mind that I thought it could be just from what I'd read on the internet about Turbo 350s and 400s, which is that they are very fragile casings that can break, crack. Now, I was sure it wasn't that because I just assumed they crack on the outside. You would see oil pissing out everywhere. You know, when it gets hot, it expands, but there was nothing. I got under that car, I was feeling everywhere around the casing, and no oil residue. So I thought 100% it's not that. Well, it turned out it exactly was that. So had to pull the whole trans out of the car again, had to find another Turbo 350 just for the casing, put my internals out of the crack casing into another one, put it back in the car, replace a few seals and stuff that were one-time use, and it's fixed. So what was explained to me is that it was cracked internally and bleeding off pressure, you know, once it got obviously built up a bit of pressure. So that's why it first worked pretty much straight away when you started the car, and then after that it never had first gear again. So yeah, so from what I understand, it was losing fluid into a place that
I'm not sure what to do with my hands.
I don't know, it wasn't supposed to be going. So I'm sure a lot of people can explain the comments a lot better than me. As I said, I know nothing about autos, and you know, in the end, it's something minute or so small that it only opens up when it's got heat or pressure in it. So, but new casing and it fixed it. As you can see, I just drove it home, had first gear, no problems, all gears, drove perfect. I have to say a massive, massive thank you to Auto Trade Transmissions in Hobbs Crossing that built the auto in the first place and did Marcus's VN, the silver one with the filter out the bonnet. He did the box in that car too, and has done many, many big power boxes for cars over the last like 30 something years or whatever he's been doing transmissions. And I have to say thank you because he really, really helped me out. He could have easily said to me, you know, this is the trans that you supplied, because I supplied the trans, he didn't. He just built it. And if I supplied a crack casing, something that you can't see, it's kind of on me. He could have easily said that to me and I would have had to just cop it, which would have been fair enough. But he didn't. He did all the work, found the trans. I literally did absolutely nothing. I just dropped it off and I picked it up when it was done like 2 weeks later. Very, very helpful guy. I think he just felt sorry for me in the end. So I just had to pay for parts, which was absolutely stuff all. So massive, massive thank you to Brent at Auto Trade Transmissions. If you want a trans built, let me know and I can pass on some information, phone number, address, stuff like that. So pretty much now I'm just gonna jack up the car and, you know, go over everything, make sure that nothing's touching anything that should be, you know, heat wise. I still need to do this other catch can line, but it's not a massive priority. I'm gonna drop the oil and do a filter and oil on it, and just for sort of run in on the dyno when it goes. And yeah, pretty much it's ready. I can book it for tune after I just go over a few things, make sure everything's 100%. I still haven't got a bonnet cable, or I do. Thank you to Admir who gave me this one. So I'm gonna pop this in, and I really need Minnie to come and line this bonnet because I don't want to put, this is actually going to be the third cable I put in this car. I did put another one that snapped straight away. So there's some alignment issue going on here with the bonnet. So I need Minnie to come really fiddle with that because I do not want to break another cable. They're not cheap. And that's it. I can take it for tune. Now, for anyone that's still watching this late in the video, I am going overseas in 3 weeks. So there will most likely, unless I can pump out a few videos in the next couple of weeks and sort of have them in the bag ready to go while I'm away, there might not be car videos. So the question is, do you guys want travel stuff? I'm going to South America, so, you know, a place not many people go for holidays, so could be interesting for you guys, but let me know if you want to see travel stuff or not, or it might have to be 3 weeks of absolutely nothing. So let me know in the comments if you want to see some different stuff, sort of look into my life outside of cars. But let's pop this bonnet cable in. So it is slightly annoying getting these cables in. You got to drop this because you got to pull this off, and you got to pull that off to get that off, and you got to pull this off to get that off to get this in there. And then you got to try and get it through that hole there, and then it just runs down here and blah blah blah. I'm not going to connect it yet because I know as soon as I pull it, it's just going to snap. So anyway guys, that is the end of this video. I'm going to grab a few beers because I'm home alone and it's hot, and spend Valentine's Day by myself. 'cause my girlfriend's at work. So let me know about the travel videos and we'll go from there. See you next week, guys.